Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. Today's video, we are back at the table, not the same table, we're at a different table temporarily because my current desk where I record most of my diecast stuff, at least where I have been recording most of my diecast stuff for years now, is very messy right now. So we're in a different room. We are with not really a desk, but more of like a, I don't even know what you would call it, more of like a shelf. But it's like a shelf with wheels underneath, and I'm not going to go too far into that because that's not what you came here to see. What you came here to see is this guy on the table right here. This is a factory custom Chris Roamin. Recently got this guy in the mail all the way over from China, as most factory customs do. I didn't say that right, but you get the point. And this guy is, well, he is one of the factory customs of all time, if you know what I mean. So yeah, we are just gonna kind of hop a little bit right into it. Haven't done a diecast review in months now. I said I'd really only be doing them if it was a brand new car, or if it was something that I felt like was big enough and cool enough to warrant a video. And I felt that this was kind of big enough, or kind of just interesting enough to warrant a video on. So as I mentioned, this is a factory custom Chris Roamin. He is the Combustr Next Gen Racer in Cars 3, of course. And at first glance, you really wouldn't be able to tell there's anything off about him, apart from the eyes, of course. But once we get into the kind of comparison with the original, the real release of Chris Roamin, we will begin to notice some differences, and we'll also be looking at the Disney Store release as well. Starting off with just him, let's pretend we don't know anything about, we don't have any prior knowledge about Chris Roamin. He has like a weird, not a weird, but a nice little pixelated design that goes on his hood, goes on his roof, goes on his spoiler, and even is on his sides. Pretty clean colors. The dark blue, the weird, like, pale dark blue, and the bright green look really nice. And it's kind of emphasized by the weird lighting in this room, because normally the lighting in this room is very just yellow like that. And when that happens, my shadow kind of gets in the way. So I have this here, just flashlight, which I'm putting like directly in front of the camera. So it's kind of hard to tell exactly what is, you know, in focus and what's not, but I'm trying my best here. And that definitely decreases how much the shadow, you know, messes with the actual car, or how you guys will be able to see the car. The 11 kind of carved into his roof, not exactly a different color, he's just kind of like taken out of the green patch up there, which looks really cool actually. I like that little touch. The eyes looks like a crack addict pretty much. That's what I've been kind of referring to him as. Looks like he is going through like withdrawals or something. Really scary kind of, but apart from that, the rest of him is pretty similar to the real deal, apart from, you know, a few minor changes. And let's kind of get into those right now. The first immediate difference that you can see is the expression, of course. As I mentioned, the eyes are not supposed to look like that. I mean, I guess theoretically maybe they could, but it looks really like robotic, really weird, really, as I mentioned, like drug addict worthy. And I think that they maybe kind of modeled it after one or two things. The first one, or the second one, we're going to get into in a little bit because I have an actual diecast to kind of compare it to. But the first thing I was thinking of is maybe just some of those next-gen artworks from, like, I guess you could say the Art of Cars books. I know they appear elsewhere, but that's the first place I remember seeing them, or the most prevalent place I remember seeing them on those like fold-out pages. Kind of reminds me of like the stale, straightforward expressions you see there. And the second place that I kind of remember seeing them from, and what I think this car is maybe inspired from, I don't know if Tomica has done a Chris Roamin. I don't know enough about that, but I do know that with a lot, and I mean a lot of the factory customs past maybe like 2 years, a little less than that, they've been taking heavy inspiration from Tomica. And when I mean inspiration, I mean they're just stealing the designs from Tomica and putting them onto Mattel bodies, which I don't know how legal that is, but I do enjoy seeing what they look like. And I have done videos on those in the past, and I will have videos coming out about some of those, or one of those, in the near future. But I don't think this one was inspired by Tomica. I think this one might have been inspired by Disney Store. And there is the Disney Store Chris Roamin right there. Obviously, a little bit of a difference in expression. The eyes, for one, are closer together, although it still is like the robotic, just like flat stare. But Chris, the Disney Store version, does have a little bit more of emotion, because you can see he's got those like teeth wide out and open. And I guess just because of how small and how dark the front bumper, the front of this car is, I'm hesitant to tap my phone to try to focus in on it, because one, my phone, you know, if you've been paying attention to what I've been saying in like multiple previous videos, my phone's held up by a trunk fish launcher, and one single tap and it falls off, and that has happened plenty of times before, and I never edit it out because I am lazy. Another little reason that this guy is different, well, I think this guy is inspired by the Disney Store version, is look how close the colors are. It's so dark that they almost look like a black on camera, and they, even in real life, they're almost a black, but you can still tell they're like a dark, deep blue. The front logos, very, very similar, same color almost, and the green, I believe, is actually a little different. It's a little more pale on the factory custom version. The wheels have like a little like chrome, kind of like line around it on the Disney Store version. You do not get that on the factory custom, unfortunately, because I think I actually really like the look of that. Apart from, you know, the rest of the car looking really similar, another giveaway or kind of theory I have is the spoiler, because while those two have the same spoiler, that wouldn't be too crazy to say that they're inspired off of each other. The actual Chris Roamin has an entirely different one, and I have not much to go into the I don't know what you would call it, the diagnostics of the next gens and whatnot, because I know that unlike the previous generations where you had 3 different bodies, next gens you only have 2, and the slim differences you can find are all in the spoiler and like the window bars and whatnot, and I never really got too far into that. I guess we didn't really compare this guy to the original. And this Chris Roamin, this Disney Store version, by the way, I got it in that really, really weird 5-pack that had like, it had Chris, it had Michael Roeder, who also had like a robotic expression, it had Francesco Bernoulli for some reason, it had, I want to say maybe Conrad Camber in it, also with a very robotic expression, and it had the Cars 1 Murray Clutchburn, but on the like weird Winford Bradford Rutherford RPM model. So overall, that's one of like the weirdest Disney Store 5-packs ever, probably the weirdest. And I just wanted to mention that because I don't remember if this guy has been in any other Disney Store like sets or packs or whatever they do nowadays. You can see here with the actual version how different the colors are, and that's not just the angle the light is hitting them at. Once again, the green is paler, the dark blue is a little lighter on the real version, and the I guess you could say the kind of like pattern, the brighter blue on his hood is definitely a more vibrant color on him, and of course you got the difference in spoiler. I guess also got no rookie stripes on the back of the factory custom, which is interesting. And you don't have those on the Disney Store version either. I don't remember exactly when Chris came into the movie. I know there's like, what, like 6 next gens that didn't appear until the 4 to 500. So that would be interesting, actually, if this was like a rookie year Chris Roamin before the 4 to 500, and then this was like the kind of next year Chris Roamin, no rookie stripes, got a few color changes, and he's just kind of looking like a robot now. And I think that's pretty much it. That is the factory custom Chris Roamin, one of the many interesting but weird factory customs that have been popping up as of late. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video, and I will see you all next time. Goodbye.